Hello and welcome to Middle-Aged Geek Girl. I'm Sally. Yes, it's me, face to camera for a change. And I thought I would do this one face to camera as I've got some life updates and some creative updates to share with you. And I thought it would be a perfect opportunity, to actually show myself. It's not the first time I've shown myself on camera. I am aware of that, but I haven't done it for a while. So yeah, what a good opportunity to do so. Proving I'm a geek girl, I have a Jurassic Park t-shirt on and a Winnie the Pooh baseball cap. I am all sorts of pop culture references wrapped up in one bundle. As you could tell from the title, I'm officially neurodiverse. I had mentioned on my channel a while back, it might have been beginning of this year, mid-month of this year, but I had mentioned that I was recently diagnosed with ADHD. And on top of that, I have a very new diagnosis of ASD. And if you're unfamiliar with what ASD is, it is autism spectrum disorder. So I am low level, but it is something that once the ADHD diagnosis was made, I was watching some YouTube videos, specifically how to ADHD. And like I often do, I was lying on the couch and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, a completely different channel and a different video was playing, and I wish I could remember, and I know it was a female who it was in her mid to late 30s, and she was talking about ASD and being diagnosed autistic as an adult. And when she was going through the different symptoms or behaviours she experienced and put up some information on some websites to check and some checklists, it resonated with me way too much. Of the checklist, it was specifically for females because females do present differently to males. And of this checklist, it was about a good 95% of stuff I resonated with. So when I saw my psychologist, I was like, I think I could also have ASD. Can we please do the testing? And she is a clinical psychologist, so she's quite capable of doing the proper testing. She did so, and she also confirmed it and checked it with one of her colleagues who specialises in adult ASD, and I came up as ASD. It is a spectrum, so people are on it at all different levels. So what does that mean, and why am I sharing it? Well, the first thing and the main thing is I'm sharing it because, as you may know if you've been watching my channel for a while, or this might even be the first video of mine you've ever seen, I'm 49 3/4. I'm heading towards the big 50, and it's stuff I've just been diagnosed with. It's things I've had my entire life, but only just been diagnosed. The ADHD was diagnosed, so it's only been since I've been 49. So the ADHD was diagnosed at 49 years old, and the ASD diagnosed at 49 and quarters. I'm really wanting to share it out there, and that is a huge push for me to go on camera and put it out there into the world of YouTube to let people know that if you are feeling that you might be neurodiverse, it's worth speaking to a professional and get tested, especially if you are female, and especially if you are a Gen X female like myself. We are the ones that basically been, I guess I could use the word forgotten or overlooked. I mean, it goes through like generations before, and I know generations after are still going to have these issues when it comes to diagnosis. But I, as a Gen X female, can specifically speak to other Gen X females out there to get tested if you feel that you may be on the spectrum or neurodiverse in any way, shape or form. You've really honestly got nothing to lose. So I'm also speaking as an Australian in Australia with our health system, which is not the greatest in the world, but it's a hell of a lot better than a lot of places in the world. And I am aware of that. I got to do all this testing basically for free. It was covered by, partially it was covered by my NDIS, which for non-Australians is a National Disability Insurance Scheme. You have to have certain disabilities, be it mental or physical, to qualify for that. And my psychologist is covered by that. So I don't pay out of pocket. You might be out in Australia, you still may be able to get psychologists and psychiatrists covered by Medicare or for a small out-of-pocket fee. I realise in other parts of the world, it's not going to be like that, i.e. looking at you, America. So, it may be a bit more expensive and very expensive to get tested, but it's just something that I think it's very important for, as I said again, for Gen X females, because I can only speak as a Gen X female, to look into it if you feel that you may be there. It doesn't change who I am. That's the important part. I have lived with this, obviously, my entire life. It assists with understanding certain parts of my life. I am so glad that approaching 50, I finally understand and know more about myself. But at the same time, it does bring up an entire Pandora's box, or I like to say a Pandora's box of worms, that I'm starting to replay a lot of my life and key moments of my life and wondering how differently they would have played out if I had have known what I was like or how my brain was different back then. So I've got an ongoing psychologist, so at least I've got someone I can professionally talk to about that sort of stuff. So that is something to be aware of when you do seek diagnosis and you aren't given one, that you do start to replay your life a little bit and wonder if things could have been different, better, worse, whichever way, if you had known earlier. So I'm sort of in the midst of that at the moment, as well as adjusting to the Ozonepick, which I had mentioned in a previous video. And again, if you don't know what Ozonepick is, I suggest you Google it. But the basics of it, it is a drug to help diabetics with appetite suppressant so that they can lower their blood sugars. And it is quite a drug that likes to punch you in the face. I've had quite a few episodes of days where I've just been throwing up or in severe stomach pains, but I'm persevering because I really want to get to the max dose, which I'm on now. So hopefully I'll fully adjust soon, so that I can see the benefits, because my blood sugars were very dangerously high. In Australian readings, they were anything from the high teens to 24 blood sugar readings. I'll try when I do the editing to put what that is for the other parts of the world that don't measure it the same way we do here. But if you know diabetes and you know the Australian readings, you know that's dangerously high. And they have dropped down to single digits again since I've been on the Ozonepick. So that is, a huge part of why I've been inconsistently uploading, because there's just days I can do nothing but lie on the couch and feel sorry for myself, because anything I try to do just makes me feel sick. But I really am hoping to be more consistent and go up to 3 videos a week, being Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. I'm not going to alter what I do on the channel in terms of hobbies and crafts and arts and stuff like that. I have a wide variety of things that keeps me entertained. Now I know why, knowing about the neurodiversity. It makes so much sense that I can't just stick to one thing and one thing only. I like to and have to change up what I do consistently. So that is, I guess, an explanation to why my channel is a bit all over the place. I mentioned it earlier in the year when I did my welcome back for 2023. I know it hinders the channel a little bit because people tend to like channels that stick to 1 or 2 things, where I have anywhere between 7 to 10 different things I like to do on my channel. And I'm not going to create a new channel for every bunch of things I like to do. It's all on the one channel, and I hope you understand, and I hope you stick around for that, because, you might not like Monday's video, but Wednesday's might be right up your alley. So the way the channel's going to be. I am who I am, and I'm not going to change that for anybody, but it helps everybody understand a bit more as to why everything is a bit all over the place and inconsistent with the types of craft and hobbies I like to do. I mean, they basically stick to the same 10 odd hobbies I like to do. I really, really have to work hard not to do more. I had bought a bunch of card making stuff. I think I have even showed it on the channel before. And I did have plans to make physical greeting cards. In true Sally fashion, instead of just buying a couple of things that I could try it out, I had to buy too much of it, buy something in every colour, in every style type thing. So, you buy some paper. Instead of just buying a couple of sheets of paper to try the card painting stuff out and 1 or 2 dye, I went and had to get like a bunch. And now I'm not interested in card making anymore. What do I do with that stuff? It doesn't take up a lot of stuff in storage. I might be interested in card making again, who knows? Or I might just sell it. I just have to resell it at a loss. And that's the sort of thing I've really, really got to work hard not to do. Just try and keep with the hobbies I currently have, which, just going off the top of my head, would be diamond painting, cross-stitching, adult colouring, building things like Lego, building miniatures, building paper theatres. Just looking at the box beside me here where I've got stuff I want to film. If there's anything else in there. Oh, and jigsaw puzzles, of course. I like doing puzzles. So if I can stick to those things, I think at least there'll be a consistency of that on the channel and that people might be able to follow it along with that. I mean, on top of that, I also love gaming. So, yeah, there's a lot of that I do off camera, obviously. Very early in this channel, you might be able to see I actually did do gaming reviews. And I stopped that because of my own self-conscious, basically. I realised I was a middle-aged female, and there's not so many of us out there. There are that game for sure, but probably don't do channels. You've either got to be, I'm going to be a bit divisive here maybe, but you've either, in my opinion, got to be young and full-bosomed or a senior citizen to be popular in the gaming space. You can disagree if you like, but either way, I moved away from the gaming, and that's when I became about diamond painting, and then I added cross-stitch and colouring and then all this other stuff I like to do. And I'm so glad I understand why I'm like that now. It's also interesting, and I have spoken about this with my psychologist, about why it's really only come up in the last couple of years that I've really felt the ADHD and the ASD sort of rearing its head. Largely that's down to masking. I work for a financial institution from the age of 18 to the age of 41. By the time, I'll be real, I was bullied out of that job. I was a team leader at that stage, and at the peak of my team leadering, I had 40 staff under me at one point. And when I left that team, they split that team between 2 team leaders and 2 second in charges. I did have 2 second in charges to help me, but I was the one team leader. Long story about that, which, maybe one day. Because I was in that position as a team leader and in a corporate environment, masking was just a really big part of my life. And it's also why females, I believe, are a lot harder to diagnose, because we are genuinely good at masking. It's what we do. Yeah, there was a certain way one was expected to behave, as you can imagine, being in a financial institution, and I didn't always behave like that. Like, I can, as I said earlier, just pick certain parts of my life, especially in the job, where things would be said to me about my behaviour. And it was like always that I was either too much, since I had staff members that wanted to transfer into my team because I wasn't like the other team leaders, because I was happy and because I was about my team. I wasn't about the corporation. And that's not something that's highly valued in the financial world. I I obviously did control it as much as I could. It would burst out occasionally. So as best as I could whilst working in the bank, I would mask and I would be seen as, well, I like to think normal, but I think it was seen through a little bit. I always say I can never play poker because I do not have a poker face. Management could see exactly what I thought about certain things because it would be written on my face. Since I stopped working and then the pandemic hit when we were in lockdown, and I live in Victoria, so we were under some of the strictest lockdowns in the world, which I'm not complaining about at all during the pandemic, but things like that sort of started to make the mask fall away a lot. And that's why it's only really been in the last 3 years that I have really, I guess, shown the symptoms and more of the behaviours. So that's what's led to today. I also wanted to take this opportunity to share some different things I'm doing off camera as well. Like I used to make a lot of physical products and do some markets and things like that. But then when the pandemic struck, I stopped going and stopped making things because, well, depression and all that stuff that a lot of us went through around the pandemic and lockdown time. My craft room became a bit of an impossible space. And I'm currently working with occupational therapists to help me clean up and organise again. And whilst I'm in the process of doing that, I felt like I wanted to start creating besides what you see on the YouTube channel. And I have gone making some digital products. Now, I did do a short which showed my Etsy store very briefly, but I will also put some images up here to show you. And warning, there is swearing and it can be the C word, just so you're aware. I'm Australian. I don't know, not every Australian swears, but a lot of us Aussies like to use the swear word. So there will be some C words here, just so you know. This is the sort of thing I want to create. I'm really enjoying it. So far I've got bookmarks. It's all printables. So you pay for the PDF basically and print it yourself. I've got bookmarks in clean versions and sweary versions, and then I have stickers, but you can use the files to say put on t-shirts, to put on tote bags, make stickers themselves, a bunch of stuff. I'm really enjoying that. I do have greeting cards are the next thing I'm going to start making in the digital version. And that's a throwback to earlier in the video where I said I bought all the stuff to make physical greeting cards. Well, now I've discovered you can do printable greeting cards. And this is good in the sense it's helping me get my creativity flowing without the cost of buying the components needed to make the piece. I mean, I will go back to making physical items. I haven't completely thrown that idea to the wind. It's just at the moment until I get my room completely organized and I work out exactly what I want to make physically, I'll be making the digital stuff. I'm also doing Kindle direct publishing or KDP publishing, where I've designed some covers for some notebooks, and I will show you the Kindle store of ones that I have made. I purchased one of my own as well, just to see what they look like. I've actually got mine here in my little box. Yay! So this is the B5 version, and again, of course, it's got swearies on it, because again, I like swearies. So this one is your fucking awesome ideas. And this, as I said, is B5, but it's dot. So it's dot grid, if you like that sort of book. And the other one is I'm doing A6 lined notebooks. So I will put some links up there to where you can find them on Amazon. It is Amazon worldwide, and it should be easy for me to show you how to purchase them. But if you're not in Australia, you can get them from American Amazon. But yeah, it's quite a complicated process for me to show you how to do that, because if I show you on my computer, it will tell you it's out of stock, even though it isn't. So they're the type of things I'm doing that I don't show on YouTube that are trying to keep me out of trouble and entertained. So, yeah, have a look. There might be good little gifties if you, as Giftimus starts to approach very quickly. There might be something you are interested in doing. But yeah, I think that covers everything I wanted to do in this video. This is not going to be the regular format for me. I just really wanted to do this one face to camera and just share the face of what neurodiversity is. I'm just one of many. That whole waiting a very long time for me, almost 5 decades, to find out exactly what makes me tick. And if you feel that it's something that you need to find out for yourself, if you feel that there's a possibility, go ahead and get tested. You've got nothing to lose, honestly. At the end of the day, it doesn't change who you are. It just might help you understand who you are better and those around you to understand who you are. And that's a very important thing. You are who you are, and it helps to know. And in my case, I'm static, I know, in one hand, but it also opens a whole Pandora's box of worms in the other. But I wouldn't change the process of finding out. It's something that I definitely know I needed to do. Yeah, it won't change anything on the channel. Maybe it just helps you understand why I have so many different projects on the go on my channel and why I don't stick to one or two themes. Basically, that is all I wanted to say. And for the usual stuff, if this is your first time finding my channel, thank you for watching up to this point. It is truly appreciated. Please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and also the notification bell. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, I do have a Ko-fi and a Patreon account set up, and the details are up here on screen. Yeah, thank you again, everybody, for watching. Leave me a comment down below. We can open up a conversation regarding neurodiversity, your own experiences with it, or anything else you'd like to talk about. I love to hear from you, and I always respond. So everybody, no matter where you are, please stay safe, stay weird, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.